Welcome, all you business geeks, to the Business Geeks Podcast, an entrepreneurial show where three friends geek out loud and proud on everybody's business. I'm Super Joe Pardo of superjoepardo.com and indiepodcasters.com. I'm joined by my two wonderful co-hosts, Jennifer Crawford, the co-founder of Sparent.co, and Samantha Riley of SamanthaRiley.global. This week, we are talking about networking, and we got a lot of notes. We got a great show for you here. And how are you doing, Jen? How are you feeling today?
Oh, I'm feeling good.
Yeah, I mean, we were complimenting your hair prior to this.
Yeah, we're thinking you look very fancy today, Jen.
Yes.
Wow, thank you. I have washed my hair today.
So we know when you don't wash your hair. Is that what you're saying?
Maybe.
So here we are. Joe and I are like, did you have a professional photo shoot? No, just wash my hair.
Oh, Sam, how are things on the other side of the planet for you today?
The things are great. Great start to the day. It's nice and early here. I am alive.
Oh, I'm glad to hear that. That is a great reason to
it's always a good day when you're alive, right?
Yeah, well, you didn't wake up dead, because that's
exactly.
Anyway. Speaking of, I just heard a story. Apparently, Josh Gad, who plays Olaf in Frozen, he was trying to get people to register to vote, because we are deep in the political scene here in America. And he said, like, if he got 3,000 people to register to vote or something like that, he would narrate 2020 as Olaf. So he started out January. He's like, I want to go to the other side of the world. Let's go see what. Oh my God, it's on fire. He's talking about Australia.
Yeah.
Like, you know what? Let's go check out China. I've always wanted to see the great. Oh man, let's go somewhere else, not Wuhan, China. Like it was apparently epic. I had to look it up myself. I was
going to say, I'll have to look it up. It sounds good.
So anyway, we're talking networking today. Sam, this is your topic, your week here. Where do you want to kick it off with the networking topic?
Well, I think we decided on this topic, all of us, last week, because we were talking about lead generation, and I said something about networking because that's a great lead generator. And then we decided, oh no, let's not deep dive into that in 5 minutes. Let's do a whole show, because I think that networking is so valuable. I know, Jen, you're a master networker, aren't you?
Oh
my goodness! Hang on! I need lots of dings. I made Jen not know what to say. I don't think that's ever happened before.
You have no
celebration
idea.
Sorry.
Good job, Sam.
Celebrating when you have me tongue-tied. I don't know if I like that, but I'll dance anyway. No, it's because so many thoughts are going through my head, because I used to hate networking. I am a proud card-carrying introvert. I'm introverted, but I'm also shy. I know you're gonna have a hard time believing that, but it's so true. So I had to really learn like how to make networking work for me and my personality, I guess. And anyway, So it's so funny when you say you called me a master networker, because it's not something that comes naturally at all.
And it doesn't come naturally to a lot of people, which is why I wanted to talk about it today, because I'm an extrovert. I still don't like networking. So I think that's straight up, that there's a misconception that introverts don't like it and extroverts do, because it's not a thing. And I think that I don't like it for some of the reasons that we're going to talk about today, because there can be some pretty uncomfortable rooms to be in at networking events. But I think the first thing is that I had heard a quote years ago that your network is your net worth. And I don't think that when I first heard it, I really understood what that is, but now I really understand what that is. That another one of my mentors says it like this: kings hang with kings And it is so true. You know, the opportunities come to you when you are aligned with other people that can open the doors to other opportunities, introduce you to other people. And I think that is, you know, right out of the gate, I think the biggest misconception with networking is that we do it to get sales instead of thinking, what opportunities is this going to open up? So that's kind of where I want to open it.
Or even what
the long
opportunities can I present to others? What kind of connections can I provide? How can I be of service to other people?
Because it doesn't, sales don't happen in networking rooms, do they?
No.
No. But the problem is that so many people walk into a room thinking, oh, I've got to go to networking because I need to make some more sales. Ugh. And that's the bit of networking that we don't like. So I'd like to talk about that so you're not that person.
I want to talk about it too.
Oh, Jen, we love you so much. So I follow your lead, Jen. Last week you started with the definition. So I found the definition of networking because I was like, well, what actually is the dictionary meaning? And it's the action or process of interacting with others to exchange information and develop professional or social contacts. There's nothing in there about buy my stuff.
No, I don't see anything about that in that definition. You're right.
Well, that would require people to actually look up the definition.
But they don't need to
And
because
not-
I found it for them.
Right,
just
but
gave
they
it
would
to
just
them.
take it from other people, right? They listen to what other people think or other people say, like, oh, you know, this is how I do it. It's all in the networking. Heck, network marketing, right? That's literally another word for sales, or another word that I'm not going to throw out there.
Yeah, exactly.
The pointy one. So, but yeah, people take that as like that's the goal, but it's a very long term thing, and same like goes with podcasting, right? Having people on your podcast and interviewing, it's to me it's like what can I learn? Hopefully they can have a great time. Our audience can learn too. But a year from now, hopefully, something might shake loose, an opportunity might come forward, and you become, a somewhat frame of mind for that opportunity because you had that conversation, because you met that person one time at an event, or two times at an event, or met for coffee after the event to see like, hey, what's an opportunity here for us to do something together.
Can I say
Absolutely.
something controversial?
We love
Yeah,
your
all
controversy.
the time.
I'd like to say that it's my opinion that networking as a whole is evolving for the better. And I think that is because of an infusion of women business owners. Because women do business differently and they approach relationships differently. Fight me.
Okay.
I can't put my boxing gloves on.
Fight me.
I actually can't. I can't fight you.
Fight
But
me.
Joe,
Fight me.
Uh,
Fight me. Fight me.
how do you all right, how do you figure? Because
Because women
because
were
why?
not invited to the table. Women have not. It's relatively recent. We've only been able to vote for 100 years. I mean, come on, like in the United States. Women have not been business owners that long, yet men have owned businesses the whole entire time. So of course it's going to take us a little bit of time to get in the rooms with other business owners, to start our businesses, to be invited to the networking events. And I think over time, as women have become more and more involved in business, according to the American Express State of Women Business Owners, we now make up 46% of business owners are women now. So we're catching up. However, I love that number, except that less than 2% of us have reached the 7-figure mark as women business owners. So there is a big gap there. And I know when I first had my business way back and I was doing networking events, there were not a lot of women business owners at networking events. And I think that's what started my aversion to them because I didn't feel like I was looked at as an equal, treated as an equal. It was hard to have a voice in the room at all. Like I said, things are changing slowly. And I think that change towards networking, being more relationship focused, is something that I'd like to say is led by women.
So
Oh, okay. Oh,
I don't disagree, but I don't think that it's mutually exclusive to women. I think what's happened is that it's devolved on the male side, right? So like growing up, there was this poster that my grandfather had on his wall that was like, it would take years to like build a relationship, a business relationship, and seconds to lose it, right? And so I don't know that I don't think it's always been that way. I think it's devolved into that. And I don't know how long. I don't have any statistics in front of me to support that. But what I will say is that as any great business owner will do is they will look at what's going on and they will go to do the opposite, right? They will look for the opposite. So I don't think that it's a mutually exclusive thing for male versus female, but I think that it's maybe like to your point of women are newer to the table as a not a majority, but as a bigger chunk of the whole, and they just haven't devolved into what a large part of the male portion of the pie have fallen into.
so I feel like I'm going to be the controversial one now, Jen, and I'm a little bit scared with what I'm about to say.
Say it. Say it.
So I don't know if this is just an Australian thing. I don't know if this is just where I've hung out, but definitely there's always been plenty of women in the networking rooms that I've been in, and I've been networking for over 20 years.
Okay.
I actually think, and I don't know, that there's more women networking now in the online space. So more women business owners that have started online businesses than maybe traditional businesses.
Mm-hmm.
And that maybe that, see, okay, I don't like old women networking events.
That's okay.
But
that's very controversial.
Why?
That is super controversial. And that's why I said I don't know if I want to go here. I'm talking about all women. I just don't think there's a really great balance. I actually like the balance of men and women being in the room. I think it gives a different dynamic.
I don't hate it. Current networking mixed rooms, I think can be really, really valuable and important. Well, and I think this probably steers us to the point of, find the right networking groups and opportunities that fit you, that fit your goals, your missions, your personality. I mean, because they're not all the same.
No. And that is definitely the biggest takeout of that is that you need to know who you're trying to align with. I wouldn't see a huge amount of benefit going to a networking event with a room of people, doesn't matter whether they're men or women, that were in their first 6 months of business.
Bingo. Yes. I so agree, because it's so easy to end up in networking rooms where you're the most experienced or most mature business owner in the group, and you've got people that are just much greener in business and maybe even don't even take business ownership as seriously as you.
Yep.
Maybe they're hobbyists, part-time, in and out of business. And so that's probably not where you want to be if you're, 5 years in business and you're looking for strategic partnerships, you're looking to scale up, you're looking to collaborate on big ideas. That's probably not the room for you.
Absolutely. And I think that, so what's interesting about that as well is networking events are a really great way to practice telling people what it is you do. And when you go to a networking event, there's someone that's really, really new and it's like their first or second event, and they just and they don't stop. They just talk. It's like, you can tell they're so nervous, but it's like, okay, take a break now.
Breathe.
Well, okay, so I think while I wouldn't want to be in that room with all the green people like all the time, I think there is something to be said for still planting those seeds for the long term, for when those people are 4 or 5 years, 6 years in, potentially looking to sell their business, or retire from it, or do something to that effect, and then you're that person that's the go-to, right? There's a long game there, but like I said, I don't think it's something you should do all the time. I also think that if what we're taught, if the stats what you brought to the table, Jen, are true from a like most businesses are still male owned, and most of the women, only like 2%. Would you say 2% of the women
less
owned
than
businesses?
2% reach 7 figures.
Right. So if that's the case, like I would think that you'd want to be in a mixed room of people, because you might have that. It sounds like you're gonna have a better statistical opportunity to meet somebody who can make a difference for you than if you were just in a room with just women, or even just men, or just men that are just getting started, or stuff like that. But it's hard to really tell you what the value of a relationship is over the course of a week, and then a month, and then 2 years, and 5 years, and 6 years, and 10 years, and 20 years. Like you just don't
You
know.
just
So that's why
don't
you
know.
gotta
Don't know.
Exactly.
be available.
And I know last week I interviewed someone on my podcast that was introduced to me by someone that I had met at an event in San Diego the year before last. And we've nurtured that relationship, and he's introduced me to this person who was introduced to me by one of my other mentors in Australia that introduced me to my publicist in LA. And like I can keep going back and back and back, that over the last 6 years there's been this chain of events that introduced me to this person, who at the end of the podcast invited me to do a collaboration with her. I don't know. I can come back in a year and maybe tell you where that's led, and where that collaboration led, and what it did for my business and the people that I met. Well, it's same here, right? Joe, we were introduced by someone else that was introduced by someone else. You introduced me to Jen, who I never would have known otherwise. Like, these relationships, you don't ever know where they're going to go. We don't know where they're going to go in the future either. But you have to nurture them. And I think you said it, Joe or Jen, it's about serving. We walk into a room to serve. We don't walk into a room to take. And that is the biggest thing about networking, that some people understand. The people that do really well at networking, they understand coming from a service standpoint, rather than the people that say, I hate networking, because they're always trying to take.
Absolutely. I happened to catch a post on LinkedIn today from Barbara Cochran of Shark Tank and real estate fame, and I thought it was appropriate.
It's Corcoran, not to correct you.
Corcoran?
Barbara
Corcoran. Oh, you're
yeah.
right. I don't know why I said that. I knew that.
You wrote Cochran.
I
but-
did. I don't know why. I did. I think I don't know
okay.
why. Corcoran, yeah. So she's posted and said, success is contagious. Hang out with people who dream big and are willing to work hard to get there. She was referencing her Shark Tank team, because they're celebrating their 12th season. But I thought it was kind of appropriate for our conversation today. Success is contagious. And I think
Totally.
that speaks to being of service. Like, if you help someone else be successful in whatever it is, one little thing, that you're spreading that success disease.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
So I wrote down a few, only 4 or 5 problems that I see, and the opportunities when we actually do this in a different way. I could have sat here honestly for hours and written way, way, way more than this, but we've all got things to do. We're busy people. So I just thought, let's just touch some of them. And one of them was, or the first one is that the problem is that people think, I need to go to a networking event because I need to make sales. And as we've already mentioned, that obviously that puts us in the wrong frame of mind. And I think the opportunity is to understand that the sales don't happen in the room. What happens is in the room is that we meet someone, maybe we have a values alignment, maybe we have a good conversation, maybe we just click with that person, that's all that happens in the room. We talk about where our children went to school, or we talk about what food we like or what we're doing here. That's the things that we talk about at networking. And then we take that conversation to a different time, to a phone call, to a Zoom call. Would you guys agree?
I would
Yep.
agree. I definitely would agree. You're just trying to get to know people, right? You're just trying to get to know them.
Yeah,
Do-
yeah.
Do you do networking, Joe?
I do. I go into a bunch of events over the years. I still find it awkward to walk up to people and be like, "So what do you do?" That opening, like, "So do you come here often?" is not. It's not a thing. I think that's probably the hardest part about it, right? Is having the conversation is the easy part. It's the how do I engage with, you have two or three or four people talking. I forget where I was. I was I think it was at some kind of an event, and they were talking about, like, don't walk up to a group of two people. It's two people that are talking, right? They're having a meeting of some sort. Like, go to where there's already a third person, because then you could like walk in. Of course, you don't know if that could be the problem too. But that's a thing. It's like you see all these other people talking, and just like, all right, well, I'm gonna go talk to the person that's standing up against the wall, because they're probably just as shy.
Do you
about it
know,
as I
Joe,
am.
that is the worst. That's the bit that I hate about networking too. I was down in Adelaide at the start of the year, and I went to a networking event, and there was an odd number of people in the room. Everyone was in pairs except for me. And it was so awkward because I don't want to walk up to people because they're in twos and very closed off body language. Everyone's having these conversations, and I'm going, do I leave? Do I keep standing here smiling to myself? We didn't even have a drink. Like, it was so awkward. And that is the bit I hate about networking events. People that can see there's someone else that's feeling awkward and doesn't invite them into a conversation.
Oh my gosh. This is where finger
Dang.
puppets come in handy. Like, bring a finger puppet. You always have somebody to talk to. But this is we know there's very little about the pandemic that is good. But one thing that you can take advantage of during the pandemic is that most networking is virtual. And if you are, like me, like naturally awkward, you don't have to worry about walking up to anybody. Like, you're all in the same room until they divide you into breakout rooms. Like, that piece, that awkwardness is no longer there. A good majority of that has been, taken away by virtue of the format. And also, another great reason to take advantage of networking right now is that you can network all over the world. Because it used to be pre-pandemic, when networking was going somewhere, that you were going to probably network within 10 miles of your home, right? So you're going to start running into the same people at the same networking events, at different networking events. Great. You can deepen those relationships, but how about expanding that network? You have a perfect opportunity right now. And so I've been doing that. I've been trying to, like, pop into, networking events that aren't in my area, that maybe aren't in my industry. Meeting people that I would never come across normally, in traditional networking.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. I've joined a lot of overseas networking events.
Yeah, so smart.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
smart.
Perfect time.
Never have to leave the house. You only have to dress up from the waist up. The waist
Just
up.
like we are
I'm on
now.
that
Waist up. So
Who's gonna-
easy.
I know. How awful is it going to be to get out of yoga pants at the end of this pandemic, though?
Oh my god.
I know.
Oh, wow.
Oh, going outside. Yoga pants forever. Yoga pants forever.
Absolutely.
We just have a decade of that. Like, it's just it just became a fad. We don't know how it happened, but it might start with the pandemic. Years from now.
Absolutely. You've mentioned online events, Jen. I think that, and you're saying that, it can be easier, but I think that in different versions of online, so not your traditional networking event, but something like LinkedIn, which I still see as networking and a lot of people don't, people treat online differently to offline. So I like to liken LinkedIn like imagine it was a real life event, people saying like coming in and saying, "Hey, I'm Sam," and then just walking away because they'll click the connect button and then they'll just like ghost.
Well, that's the business card in the hand as they like walk through the room, right? Like
Yeah.
you just,
Yeah,
like,
but I
here,
think
here,
that
here, here,
that
here.
it in online that it's easier to do, isn't it? You don't even have to be uncomfortable walking away. It's just like, I'm done, I'm gone.
Rude.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah. They're not different. Think about it as so it's like you're meeting them in person. Actually, how are you? And answer. That'd be nice. Something different.
Yeah.
Refreshing. Will you be my friend? Yes, no, or maybe.
Yeah, at least answer. At least give me a no. I'll feel so much better about myself.
I'll be able to emotionally move on.
Oh, do you have that on LinkedIn? Do you find that on LinkedIn?
Yes,
Yes.
and I've been guilty of it myself.
I think we talked about this in our LinkedIn episode not that long ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Was there another problem opportunity that you wanted to bring up, Sam?
Yeah, I think that not knowing what you want, like not knowing why you're there, I think it's awkward for someone that you meet. Like not understanding the outcomes that you're trying to achieve or, you know, what opportunities are you looking for in your business. Like we've said that we're there to serve and we're there to meet people, and I get that. But at the same time, I don't want to just go and talk about the weather with everyone and not get a return on investment for my time. There's got to be some sort of like, what are we doing here kind of thing.
I agree.
Just me?
Yeah.
No, I agree.
No.
I mean, it's that balance between yes, you want to give and you want to serve, but our time is so precious. Everyone's time is precious, and you know you're not making any more of it. So you do have to be discerning in how you spend it. So having that intention behind everything you do and how you spend your time, including your time in networking, is really smart.
Yeah. So I think you need to know why you're there, what you're doing there, and what you do. Like, if I say, Jen, what do you do? And you're like, oh, well, you know.
A little bit of that.
Like, can you tell me what you do, please? So that I can understand it.
So I can walk away
Oh,
when I
this
know
is
that
super
it's not
helpful.
for me.
This is all part of my grind my gears. I hope we get to it. Oh my god.
It's
Oh.
coming up. I can feel it in my bones, Jen.
Well, can I just say I'm gonna put I don't know if I think it's my week next week. I'm gonna put in for elevator pitch for our topic for next week.
Oh.
Oh.
Well, we just talked. No, am I gonna nose? I'm getting nose. See, this is how it works. People,
No,
like,
Joe, I just
I'm
like
gonna
to
make-
mess with you. You know I like to mess with you.
I'm gonna make
And
my
I know
job of
Jen's
that.
on my team. Jen's on my team.
Oh, the pain I put up with. So you can have a great show here on the Business Geeks podcast that you should totally go and subscribe on your podcast player of choice.
Yes. So networking. Next week we're going to talk about elevator pitches. So your networking is
Yeah.
better.
That's right.
Yeah.
You could be
absolutely.
networking with us right now.
Yeah, there's
every
not much
week.
networking happening.
Every week.
No,
Every week.
No, today's it's a very slow day. We got some reactions, but not too many people tuning in apparently and commenting.
There's a lot of networking that could be happening in a live chat. I mean,
I know, right?
Networking does not have to be traditional. You can network in so many different ways.
Yes, I have actually found interviews for my Thought Leaders Business Lab podcast in the chat on the Business Geeks podcast.
See? Yes, that has happened.
It
Magic
has happened.
I mean, it's all about connecting with people that you don't already know, whether that's in a live chat. And, you know, there are live chats in all sorts of formats in our, you know, Facebook Live here every week and live webinars. You have to be open to those opportunities.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, that's networking.
Networking.
It's boring the peoples. So why don't you talk about your one cool thing, Joe? Maybe that will be a bit more exciting.
Yeah, I bet it will.
I know that. So apparently AMC or Cinemark, I guess both, are allowing people to rent the private movie theater for just starting at $99.
Whoa.
For I forget how many people it said that you can have it, and up to groups up to 20 can rent out the theater for $100. So that's
Oh
that's
my
pretty-
gosh. But
that's
That's so cheap.
the popcorn is 1,000.
yeah. Well, it's
Well, you know,
Yeah.
Jen, you can't look a gift horse in the mouth.
Yeah, sorry.
yeah.
I made that up.
Yeah. Well, it's not $99 for 20 people, right? That's not that bad. That's
That's
really
pretty
not
cheap.
Yeah,
unreasonable.
it's cheap.
Yeah, I mean, comparatively speaking, now apparently it costs more for newer releases, $150 to $350.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to go watch Tenet, which I'm looking forward to seeing at some point, I'm sure it's probably closer to the like $250 to $350 range. But you can even rent a microphone apparently, so you can like. I don't know why you would need a microphone with 20 people in the room. It's not exactly like 100 people or more, but you can rent that, and let's see, paying the theater an extra $250 for private catering with some extra restrictions. So $250, and then you can dine your 20 people in thing. This sounds like a great opportunity for businesses that are like working from home right now and want to have some kind of like social interaction thing.
Absolutely.
But look, it's $5 for popcorn. That's not I mean, that's probably
It's
pretty
not
small.
Oh,
it's not
Jen.
1,000. I was spreading rumors. Sorry, but that is with butter. Maybe it's with butter. It's 1,000. I know how these movie theaters work.
So so apparently it's not available in your area, Jen, sadly, which is really surprising because it seems like a great fundraising opportunity for some political people that could be like, hey, we're going to rent this theater and get some private food, and then it's you can watch Tenet and it'll be $10,000 a ticket. But you'll get to have,
Joey, hang on. Can I just say, it's not just Jen's area that this isn't in. It's my area too.
Yeah.
Remember us down here in Australia?
Yeah. From what
Rude.
I remember as a kid, having a couple of friends in Australia, they used to tell us that you could buy the movie from the movie theater when you went to watch it. You could buy a VCD, a video CD. So
Really?
you watch the movie, and then for like $20, you could buy a copy of the movie that lasted, I think it was like 3 to 7 days or something like that. It was
I've
not, it was
never
low
heard of that.
quality.
Blues
Really,
up.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I'm not sure. Maybe just them.
I'm just trying to
well,
picture.
Alex is joining
yeah,
us.
Hey, Alex. We're so glad
Hey,
you're
Alex.
here. We were getting lonely.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to picture the movie theater with your 20 friends. Like, hey, like, look at this picture. Like, nobody's sitting next to each other for obvious reasons. We're masked up. You go to that corner. You go to that corner. You go to that corner. Like, we're gonna have walkie-talkies, and so we can talk to each other. It's
I'd still rather do that than just be in my house on my own.
I
I still would
guess.
rather do that.
I don't know. I don't know.
You
Why
know,
only
you can
20
you
people,
can wave
though?
in real life rather than just waving through a screen.
It
Only
doesn't-
20 people because they've got to put so many seats between everybody. I guess.
They don't have to do nothing. People are going to church and not wearing masks at all.
I don't watch the news.
No, don't do that. Don't go there.
I
Don't
didn't even
go
watch the news.
there.
It was on my YouTube feed.
I don't have a YouTube feed.
God, now they're taking over YouTube.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. Yeah.
So
There's a
no-
whole section like it's like, oh, here's your featured, and then right under it's like all the news, and it's like from all the different outlets, not just
Yeah.
certain specific ones.
Oh my goodness! Guess what? Next week
What?
I'm catching a plane for the first time in 2020.
You must be working out.
Hilarious. See, what did I say, Jen? Comedian.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go
Where
back
are
to
you
I'll go
flying
back
to?
to my corner. I'm just flying to another state, but it's very exciting.
That is exciting.
That is exciting. Yeah, I noticed 2 people in my news feed have gone abroad. Spain and I forget what the other country
Yeah,
was.
Sweden one of my
friends.
friends has gone to Portugal. I'm like, how did you get out? Because we can't
Yeah.
in Australia. Like, we can't even get out.
I didn't think we were allowed
We're
into
stuck.
Europe, but I don't know. That's odd. Todd. I haven't been
I don't know.
paying to close enough attention to know. Who Jen, you had to grind my gears?
I gotta do it fast. Grind my gears. Oh my gosh, people. We've been in quarantine 7 months. You gotta learn the Zoom etiquette. If you don't know it by now, I'm taking away your Zoom account. But that's actually just a broader category for what my real grind my gears is, because it's relevant to our topic. Online, virtual networking groups, you show up, there's 30 people on the Zoom, it's an hour-long networking event, and what do? Everyone, please introduce yourself. Takes up the whole entire time, and people don't know how to introduce themselves. People are telling you everything they do, not just their business, but their kids and, their struggles and, what they bought at the grocery store and why they choose Target over Walmart. I mean, everybody's just having a free-for-all. And then it's like, oh, we've got 2 minutes left. But if people are, free to stay longer, we'll go out in breakout rooms.
I've already been here an hour.
I've been here an hour listening to awful introductions.
So,
it should be
that's not their fault.
No,
that's
it is.
that's the that's the host's fault.
It is
the host needs to dictate what you're going to introduce.
Yeah.
Who
we're
are
going
you?
to do an
What
introduction. You got 30 seconds on the clock, and when you're not finished in 30 seconds, we're moving on to the next person.
But even
Yes,
30
we will
seconds,
mute
even
you.
with 30 people, 40 people, I think you got to let's go in smaller groups and get to know each other more intimately. I think that whole nobody wants to sit through all those introductions. It's horrible. Nobody wants to do it. I don't care if it's a 15-second introduction. I don't want to sit through 40 introductions before we even start networking.
At least you can hear people though, because I one of the events I go to locally, there is 40 to 60 people every time, every single month. And they go around the room, who you are, what's your name and what business you represent. That's your introduction, right? And then you can announce news and stuff after the fact. But it's just just doing that, it takes a while.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't hear most of the people because they're they're all the way in the back, or you're all the way in the back, or they're on the far side of the room, or they're just whispering into the void. So yeah, at least with Zoom, you can actually hear what they're saying, and then make a decision they're an accountant. I've been looking for an accountant, or I sell to accountants, or I hate accountants. Get out of my face. Let me go to the next person.
Well, I'm just surprised that grown people who have a business of some sort don't have oftentimes, even if you don't know your elevator pitch, even if you don't have it nailed down, I believe you should have enough self-awareness not to monopolize more time. You see there's 40 people on the Zoom and you think it's okay to spend 5 minutes on your introduction. It's not
I'm the kind of person that would rather do 10 seconds because I don't want to be that person.
Yes.
I'm this is what I do. Thanks. Moving on.
Right.
Yep. Self-awareness, peeps. Self-awareness.
It's a soft skill that's so valuable, particularly in business. In life too. I just had to vent.
No, I think it's good. Hosts.
It's been more than one Zoom networking event that's been run like this.
I'm sure.
So hosts, pay attention.
Yeah, you gotta figure it out when to push everyone to the breakout room, have them introduce, and then bring them back to the room, and then do it that way. But yeah, it's hard when you get that many people and you can only hear one. There's only one path to avoid, of sound. So there's no talking over people. It's not the same.
Use your mute, people. Learn to use the mute button. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. But similarly, please understand how to unmute yourself, because also I hate the guys unmute. And then 5 minutes later, you're like, oh, come on, people. It's not that hard.
You know what else isn't that hard? Now you've got me going. Sitting still during a Zoom
I'm
call.
sitting here.
No, I'm talking about people that get up, they walk around, you're seeing the ceiling, you're seeing their thumb, they're cooking breakfast, they're walking the dog, they're going to the bathroom.
You're going to the bathroom.
Sit down. It's only going to be an hour or less. Just sit down during your Zoom call, and for goodness sake, Stop changing your Zoom background and acting like you're the first person that's ever found out how to do it. Nobody cares. We're 7 months in. We've already played with that feature. It's no longer exciting.
Oh,
We know you're
wow.
not at a beach. We know your house doesn't look that great.
Ah.
I mean, why are you doing this to me?
I saw a meme somewhere that was saying that being on Zoom is kind of like, our seances from the 80s and 90s, like, we can't hear you. Like, are you there?
Knock on the table if you're there. Oh my gosh.
Oh, wow.
7 months. You've had 7 months of Zoom training. We shouldn't have to say these things.
But you get the people that are like, it's a computer. I don't understand it. I don't understand. It's a computer. I don't know.
I
It's
don't
like,
want to
okay.
say what I'm thinking right now.
Well,
I was
I'm
gonna
just
say.
saying.
I think we should move on, seriously, right now.
We should.
I'm gonna say something.
Seriously,
I'm
we'll
gonna
all say
bad.
something we regret.
Like, I'm about to self-destruct. Yes, Mary Sue.
man.
Nostrils.
Well, some people can't help that because they buy these laptops that have these dumb webcams that are at the bottom of the screen, like off to the side, instead of, at least higher up.
No
So
excuses.
it is looking up here. It is, well, no, it is an excuse because they buy these laptops that they put, like, oh, we want these thin bezels, but the only place they have is these giant chin bars at the bottom. So you put the camera down there, but then it's just looking up your nose.
No excuses for bad purchase decisions.
They don't know. These people, they have no idea. They don't know.
I have no sympathy right now.
Bad designers who were like, we're gonna get the thinnest bezels ever, and like, cool, but then you don't put the camera at the bottom. Give them a clip-on camera or something. Jeez, it's terrible. It's terrible.
All
Nobody
right.
wants to see your nostrils.
I'm exhausted.
Like watching Wendy Williams on weekdays here. It's crazy. The camera's too low. That's
Alex,
that's
Nick,
our problem.
Mary Sue, thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
We're almost done now, but we're glad
Yes.
you're glad you're
Did
here.
you have any lunch money to be had, Sam?
Oops.
She's keeping her
Oops.
lunch money this week.
No, I've spent way too much money the last few weeks. But you probably don't want to hear about my makeup purchases or my clothing purchases no. It's not very business oriented. No. Just that I'm keeping the economy in the e-commerce space alive and well.
So happy to hear that.
All right. Well, I will save my Apple purchase for next week's lunch money
Okay.
if you could guess which that is. Anyway, it's just been.
I have no idea.
No idea.
No idea. Oh, the iPhone 12 came out.
Oh,
It was
Apple.
the
Oh,
pre-launch
okay.
That's small business Apple.
Yes, the tiny business. Nick just finished painting, extra miling it.
Extra miling.
Milling
Oh.
it. Milling it. I don't.
Oh, I'm miling it. No,
Going
because
the extra mile.
Going the extra mile on the job. At 5:45 in the afternoon. Good job, Nick.
Very little competition in the extra mile.
Yeah. Yes. Well, if you've enjoyed this episode of the Business Geeks podcast, share it with the business geek in your life. Send us your questions and suggestions to questions@businessgeekspodcast.com. Also, I almost forgot before we wrap up. This Saturday, I have another free live virtual conference going on over in the indie podcasting community. It's all on home recording, so we have 6 speakers for that. Upping your home recording podcasting game. So if you go over to indiepodcasters.com/virtual, you'll find the button to join the group. And once you join the group, the Facebook group, you are able to watch it for free. It starts at 11 a.m. Eastern time. I don't know what the Australian time equivalent of that is. Sam doesn't know either.
No.
It's okay.
That's what
It's
Google's
okay.
for.
I don't feel bad, but look it up. It starts 11 a.m. Eastern this Saturday, October 24th. And what else? You can catch us, the Business Geeks, next Monday, 5 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and Tuesday, 8 a.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Time. For Sam and Jen, I'm Super Joe Pardo. Have a great week, everyone. Take care.